Hey, what's up? It's Deanna. Well, I got my 1895 Montgomery Ward and Company's catalog, and I thought I'd show you some cool things I just recently got on eBay. So, what I have here is something I saw on eBay with an opening bid of $5.49. Now, I love it when things are listed in the wrong category. When things are listed in the wrong category, that is like the greatest thing known to man. So, when you're on a low budget, and you're looking for some cool antiques to add to your collection, when people don't know what they're selling, that is the time you get things for a really good bargain. So these two Victorian pieces of costume jewelry were listed for an opening bid of $5.49. And I asked my husband if I could have them, and because he's the money man, and he said, if you can win it, it's yours. Well, if I can win it for a reasonable price. And so I went in at the last possible second, which is my favorite way to bid. So, like if you're bidding on eBay, try to go in at the last possible second. That's called sniping. And so, if somebody else is bidding on something or going to bid on something, they think that it's all theirs and that nobody else is going to bid, and that they don't bid the highest amount that they're willing to pay because they think, hey, I got it in the bag. Well, that's how you trick them and you get things for cheaper. Well, it turned out that nobody bid on this but me, and I won this big, beautiful Victorian jewelry lot for $5.49. I think the shipping was more money than the actual pieces. And so, what I'm going to show you is the first item on the right over here is a Victorian costume jewelry locket. And my guess is this is anywhere between like 1880 to about 1900. I could be wrong, give or take a decade before that, possibly. And so this is really cool. Now, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. If you see the black enamel going around like the side of the piece over here, let me try to get a good zoom on that. God, my camera is awful. Okay, there we go. You see like the black enameling that's going around the little piece here that has that really fancy scroll work. Well, that was called Epargne de Taille or something like that. Toile or Taille de Epargne. It's like a French term. And the French started artworks like that on jewelry and on all sorts of metal. It's a lot like champlive, which was wires with some kind of like enamel work done inside of it. Now, if you look, this is a gigantic pendant. Look at the size of this in my hand. Now, the beautiful part of this is it has a gemstone in the center. Now, a lot of times with Victorian like costume jewelry, they made these out of glass or foil. I think this might be a real citrine. And the reasoning behind that is a lot of times the glass type of foil like gems that they would make would have foil backing to give it like a brilliant look. This doesn't have a foil backing on it, and you can see it has like a rich citrine color. Citrines were never ever that expensive, so I could see them incorporating it into a piece like this. Now, let me show you the profile of this piece. Look at that. Now, I think it may be very lightly gold plated, made out like a brass and a gold plating over that brass. And the beautiful part of this is that this is a double-sided locket. Now, a lot of times these lockets were only a one-sided locket. And the even more beautiful part is a lot of times also the original glass panels that you see here are either broken or missing. So this has its original glass panels and they're unbroken. Now, somebody would have popped out those glass panels and put a photo in there or photos or a lock of hair, and they would keep something like this close to their heart. So this is really a spectacular piece. Again, look at the size of it in my hand. That is quite large. Now, the other piece I really like as well, and this looks to be Art Nouveau, and it was probably made sometime in the 1890s to about 1900. Art Nouveau is my favorite art movement. Look at that workmanship and that style. That is just beautiful. Now, Art Nouveau used a lot of natural things in their art, like animals or something to do with nature and leaves and all sorts of things like that. Now, what's pretty about this is that it has, don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but it has onyx cabochons. And so you can see that on the bottom. And then you can see it on the top here. This is a brooch or a pin. And I believe this is brass. I don't think it's gold plated. And this would have hung on a lady's dress. She could have hung it by her waist or hung it like on the top part of her dress. It has a pin catch in the back. And let me show you a close-up of the onyx pieces. Hang on one second. So you could see how pretty that is. And a lot of times you'll see, like, see this part right here? You'll see fobs like this, or otherwise known as a charm, on pocket watch chains. So you see these little cabochons that hangs from the pocket watch chains to give them weight. So it would actually help the pocket watch to dangle perfectly. And a lot of these pieces were also known as chatelaines. And that in French, I believe, means chain. And they would hang all sorts of things to hooks. So like a lady would have her pocket watch key hanging from there, a little boot hook. She would have like a manicure piece hanging from there. All sorts of things could be hung from a chatelaine. And this is like in the style of a chatelaine. And I mean, that is just really, really pretty. And again, the artwork on it is exquisite. I really like that scroll work. So yeah, so I got these two pieces. And I thought I'd show you some of the jewelry in the catalog from 1895 in the Montgomery Ward catalog to give you an idea of the type of pieces that people could have had back then. So some of these are charms hanging from little chains. And you can see this is like costume jewelry. This is like rolled and plated gold. This wasn't sterling silver, or this wasn't pure gold. So like you can get some of these type of pieces. Let me turn the pages and show you some other stuff that they had back then. And you can see the prices were pretty low. Even if it says $2, that was equivalent to about $60 back then. So $1 was about $30, to give you an idea of the cost of these pieces. So we have rings here. And these are solid gold band rings, actually. And look how cheap the prices were. Isn't that cool? Now we have rolled plated lockets and charms here. And some of these would be put also on a pocket watch chain. A lot of people would put lockets on there. And hanging from the pocket watch chain, men and women wore them. They would put photos in there or locks of hair. You can see the prices. Again, $1 was about $30. I don't see my pieces at all in this book. But then again, who knows exactly when they were made. But they were made somewhere between 1870 and about 1900 or so. Here's some more lockets. And again, look at the price of this one. This is amazing. Now, this is solid gold. So $7.75 was quite a large amount of money back then. If $1 was $30, you can imagine. Now, here's some more lockets and plated metal to look like gold, 50 cents. So this was like $15, this piece right here. So these were under $20, a lot of them. This one was like probably about $32 to $35, this little compass one. During this time, you see like a lot of these horns as well, made out of mother of pearl as a charm. Those were pretty. You'll see a lot of these rolling charms that were actually like they could be turned over, and they're spinners. Here's some more pieces, and these were really cheap, like 35 cents, 36 cents, 28 cents. This was really, really the cheapest jewelry that could be had back then. And now we have cuff links and cuff buttons. And if you look, some of the buttons weren't that cheap. 68 cents, $1.05 for a button. That was a lot of money. That was quite a bit of money back then. Here's some cufflinks here. I thought you guys would be interested in seeing all this stuff. These are scarf pins. And again, they were probably like anywhere between $30 to $100. Here's some sterling silver and silver plated pieces. Those were really cheap, as you can see here. So once again, I hope you like what you've seen. If you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up and a subscribe. And I hope to see you all soon. Have a great day wherever you are in the world.